All right, we have this crazy report that happened over the last 24 to 48 hours. By the time you're
Mm-hmm.
watching this, it might be much longer, but it will be within a week, hopefully, of the painful exit of Herbert Wigwe. That's actually the actual headline of the report that was released by Access Bank. Access Bank boss Herbert Wigwe mourned by Tinubu after California helicopter crash. I'm going to play a short excerpt from the NTSB. I'm not sure if they're telling us much, but this is going to be an ongoing investigation to as to what led to that crash. Potential, they're not going to have a final report for another 2 years. I think they said 24 months or so, but they will continue. So this is like a second update. This actually was an update from a little bit less than 2 hours ago. I'm gonna play it and then we'll take it. We'll take that conversation from this. It's a sad, sad story, but let's cover it. Let me play this. Okay.
As a reminder, we are on scene to gather perishable evidence. The analysis portion of the investigation occurs once all the perishable evidence has been gathered. The information I provide today will be preliminary. Today was the first full day the NTSB was at the accident site. The team began today's activities with aerial drone mapping and site documentation of the wreckage. The airworthiness group began detailed examination of the debris field. The debris field was approximately 100 yards in length. All major components of the helicopter were accounted for and identified at the accident site. These include 3 main rotor blades, the main transmission, the engine, tail rotor, landing gear skids, and various avionics components. ADSB data, or flight track data, shows the helicopter traveling along Interstate 15, approximately 1,000 to 1,500 feet above ground level. Near the end of the flight track data, it shows a slight right turn, turning south of the interstate. At that time, data shows a gradual descent and increasing ground speed. Flight track data ended about a quarter mile from the wreckage location. The wreckage site shows the helicopter impacted the terrain in a nose-low and right bank angle. Various electronic devices and onboard equipment were recovered at the scene for further examination and analysis.
All right. So let me also do a quick bio recap of who Mr. Herbert Wigwe is. Herbert Onyewumbu Wigwe, CFR, born 1966. Of course, passed on 11th February 2024. Was a Nigerian banker and businessman. He was the group managing director and CEO of Access Bank PLC, one of Nigeria's top 5 banking institutions, after succeeding his business partner Aigboje Imukwede. Wigwe started his career at Coopers and Lime Brand and Guarantee Trust Bank before joining Access Bank in 2002 as the company's deputy managing director. He became the chief executive officer for the company in January 2014. He died in a helicopter crash on 9th of February 2024 in the United States on his way to attend the Super Bowl championship in Las Vegas. So I'm sure you will have some things to share with us. I don't know. I'm just finding about him after his passing, unfortunately. But from the little bit I've seen in the last 24 hours, this is a very, very, very sad story. I yield to you, sir.
Uh, yeah, quite sad. And you will look at the meteoric rise of Mr. Wigwe in a country that increasingly shrink the space for young persons to excel as exceptional. In this case, somebody that was born in 1966. The Wigways, if it's the same Wigwe family, remember there was a Wigwe that was well known at NTA in those days. One cannot be too sure at this point. But let me tell you that while Mr. Wigwe was on earth here, he did marvelously well. Apart from joining with the well-respected Mr. Hike Imokwede to set up Access Bank, since he became the managing director and the chief executive officer, he has done so much, especially with the people at the corporate communications department of the bank, which also lost his head a few weeks back. And I think the group head of communications there was buried about 3 weeks ago. And Mr. Wigwe attended that funeral. And some of our friends in the media industry that were there said that was the last time they saw him in public. But yes, it is true that he impacted small businesses' growth in Nigeria. The painful aspect of this is that I think since the passing of our friend who was going between Ethiopia and Kenya that died the other day, there hasn't been any high-profile Nigerian to have died through any crash lately. And for this to have happened at this time, when Nigeria as a country, corporate Nigeria would have appreciated some more the input of people like Mr. Wigwe, is very, very painful. Yes, you see, while Jesus Christ was on earth here, not everybody could claim to have benefited from his miracles. We are not comparing between such a spiritual figure and Mr. Wigwe, but again, that allusion in itself could be said to be true of Mr. Wigwe. Not many people, a vast majority of humanity in Nigeria will say, oh, we don't know him, he did not do this for us. We can as well say that in SharpEdgeNews.com, but I know some of our associates, say like African Examiner, say like Per Second News, and so on and so forth, that were given advert patronage by Access Bank that was led by Mr. Wigwe. So this is one painful death, too many. It's yes, people can begin to conclude that, oh, this world is ephemeral and all that. But thank God, Wigwe was not a vulgar person. He impacted lives. I've listened to the brilliant journalist at the TVC, Mr. Kolade Otitoju, who was so personal about how the Wigwes were so close to his younger sister. This is the kind of story that you will hear from so many people that have had the opportunity of having one or two things to do with the Wigwes. I was even told that he was putting together a brilliant idea of running a private university that
Right.
was supposed to be one of the best in Nigeria.
Mm-hmm.
So now you see, one visionary that has gone too soon. So what we can say at this point is that God will give members of his family, immediate family that are still alive, extended family, Access Bank, and the people and the government of Nigeria the fortitude to bear this irreparable loss. It's somebody that will be dearly missed. Um, at least that's what we gathered from people that were so close to him and the businesses and the lives that he touched.
Wow. Are you still there?
I'm here.
Okay, good. Yeah, may God grant his family the comfort they need to get through this period. It must be tough. I'm seeing a lot of very important people also give very very similar testimonies of the impact he left. I did see some videos of him like
Yes, and
uh,
some of our folks out there um, can be so quick to want to judge the
mhm,
circumstance and the lifestyle, and then even when it is not on record that this man has ever soiled his ends with Nigerian stolen funds or public funds, there are people who will say, "Oh, that is the." People should not go there. Should not do that.
I mean that
This
would be
does not.
quite insensitive right now anyway,
Are
so
very cruel. Yes, I've also had such sentiment from some people, and it's not fair. We should look at the totality, the the total picture of what this man symbolized, what uh, he stood for, the exception that he made, and the vast ocean of failure that Nigeria has turned to. So, yeah, I mean, um, the writer of the um, sonnet, for whom the bell tolls, for whom the bell tolls, said that never ask for whom it tolls. It could be his turn this time around. Who knows whose turn it will be tomorrow? It doesn't have to be through an helicopter. It could be through whatever means. You see,
yeah.
when people look around our culture and the literature in our land, I think it was the late uh, uh, Baba Daniel Olorunfemi Fagunwa, D.O. Fagunwa. That was writing in one of his books. I think a character in that book had seen the endless ocean of heads at some point and then started wondering, so how would these people be? I mean, where would they be buried now when they die? And then the author voice speaking through another character in the book was saying, "Oh no, not everybody. The remains will be interred uh, in the earth. Some will die through crash. Some would die at sea, would drown, and so on and so forth." Well, I mean, you are focusing on the nature, the kind of death, the typology. That is not, yeah, that is not the the most that is not the most important thing at this point.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Let
What
me
is
read.
important, yeah, what is important is that for
Yeah,
everything that has a beginning, there must be an end.
absolutely. Yeah,
And I
yeah,
think the end of Wigwe is glorious.
yeah. The overall right now, the net of everything I'm hearing is positive, and that's all that matters. I'm going to end this segment by reading the statement from the Access Bank. They said, with a heavy heart, we announce the passing of Dr. Herbert Wigwe, Group Chief Executive Officer of Access Holdings. Herbert's visionary leadership and unwavering commitment to social impact initiatives have left an indelible mark on Access Holdings and the communities we serve. His legacy will never be forgotten. Hashtag remembering Herbert Wigwe. All right, and we'll be back in about 20 seconds.